Tin 2 fluoride, SNF2, is used in some toothpastes. Oh man, I love these problems. All this chemistry in real life. Who said you'd never use what you learn in school? It is made by the reaction of tin with hydrogen fluoride according to the following equation. How many grams of SNF2 are produced from the reaction of 30.0 grams of HF with SN? Don't panic. We have a balanced chemical equation. If you're confused about where to start, use the amount that you're given in the problem. In this case, 30.0 grams of HF. Set up your dimensional analysis. Again, if you're unsure, make sure that first unit gets placed on the bottom of your first conversion factor because we want it to cancel out. I'm trying to determine grams of SNF2. Tempting to put grams SNF2. Wrong. Remember, the relationship that's expressed between HF and SNF2 in the balanced chemical equation relates the number of moles. It's not grams of one thing to moles of something else. It's not grams of HF to grams of SNF2. It's moles of one thing to moles of something else. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert to moles of HF. If I want to know the mass in grams of 1 mole of HF, I'm going to turn to my best friend, the periodic table. We're going to use 1 hydrogen and add to that the mass of 1 fluorine. Boom. Next conversion factor. My unit that I had here on the top, I'm going to place down at the bottom of the next conversion factor. Now I can compare to the other thing in the equation because now I'm comparing moles to moles. That relationship comes from the balanced chemical equation. For every 1 mole of SNF2 produced, I must have used 2 moles of HF. And then finally recognize we want grams of SNF2, so I'm going to convert from moles and go back to grams. If I want the mass in grams of 1 mole of SNF2, you guessed it, my BFF. I need 1 tin, which is 118.71, and I need to add to that 2 fluorines. Boom. Jump to our calculator. 30.0 times 1, answer, divided by 20.008, answer. I'm going to stop right here. I've got 1.50 moles of HF. Let's keep going. Times 1, answer, divided by 2, answer. I'm going to stop right here. I have 0.750 moles SNF2. Let's keep going. Times 156.71, answer. I'm going to make 117 grams of SNF2. Boom. Check your sig figs. 3 sig figs to start. 3 sig figs to finish. Every single unit that I don't want cancels. And then go back to your balanced chemical equation and stop and think, does this make sense? I know that I have 30 grams of HF, and 30 grams is 1.5 moles of HF. The relationship between SNF2 and HF is 1 to 2. How does 1 compare to 2? It's half. Look at what we did. I have 1.50 moles of HF, which means that I have half that number of moles of SNF2, or 0.75. And then look at our final mass. If 1 mole of SNF2 is roughly 160 grams, and I only end up with 3/4 of a mole of SNF2, I only end up with about 120 grams, or 3/4 of 160. Oh, math. So much of it in this problem. I love it. Done.